With EBT benefits drying up, some people are acting as if the government owes them endless payouts. But today, we're watching a woman go on a full-blown rant demanding an extra $2,300 in food stamps as if the system is her own personal bank account. So subscribe and let's dive into it.
Day one of people not getting their SNAP benefits here in November, and I'm here to remind you, I don't feel bad for them. Do you realize that people on SNAP benefits are eating better than the rest of us? We literally have to scrounge and budget for our groceries for our children. We have to plan meals. We have to be ingredient households just to feed our children. And mind you, half of the people on SNAP benefits are illegal immigrants. Over 60% of them are illegal immigrants. This was never the way that it was supposed to be. Churches are supposed to feed people, food pantries, that's what they're there for. And somehow people felt comfortable letting the government control whether they eat or not. How embarrassing, right? Now, don't get me wrong, I don't need all the people in my comment section, in my DM saying, what about the people who fell on hard times? And what about disabled people? What about elderly people? Yes, those are the people that should be on it. Do I think that there are 42 million of them? Absolutely not. Do I think that it should cost $7.8 billion with a B to feed them every single month? Absolutely not. Do I think that the reason why our groceries have gotten so expensive is because of programs like this and illegal immigrants coming in and stealing our resources? Absolutely. That's definitely part of the problem. So no, don't feel bad. Keep the government closed. We need to see this through, and we need to make sure that we get rid of everybody who is on these benefits that don't need them.
Yes, it's a horrible situation out there, but the people who abused the system kind of brought it upon themselves. These benefits were meant for those who truly needed them and could not work really whatsoever. So many people ended up misusing them, and that helped push the prices higher. In the end, the only ones to blame for the benefits going away are the people who took advantage of them.
EBT. That's the big drama in Hawaii today. EBT getting cut again. Now on the news article, I see the comments, and I cannot believe the lack of education that is running through these comments. Full-blown made-up shit. First off, let me give you some facts about EBT. EBT stimulates our economy, keeps shit moving. Let's talk about the stores. Without EBT, mom and pop shops will close down. Locally owned shops will close down because EBT keeps them open. When EBT gets cut, they will raise the prices. If they can't make the cut, they won't make the rent. They will shut down. 2. There is only 1% of fraud in the whole EBT system. 3. Somebody said they knew somebody with a WIC card that had almost $20,000 on it. WIC is vouchers for certain items, and if you don't use it by the end of the month, it's gone. And it's literally milk for your baby. Then the person switched to saying, actually, it was $20,000 in their EBT card. Bullshit again, because every 6 months you have to check up with the office, provide your pay stubs, your rent, your everything, and they check your account to make sure you're spending that money. Losing EBT would break the middle class, because losing EBT, food prices go higher, wages stay the same. More money for the middle class will be going to food prices. Yeah? Forcing them to drop lower. And when they're down here, they won't be able to qualify for EBT because it'll be gone. The average income of a family of 4 needed to live in Hawaii. Not ones living on grandma's homestead. Not ones living in mom and dad's house. Not ones living in your girlfriend's parents' house. Okay? A family that is doing it on their own. The average income is $300,000 to live in Hawaii for a family of 4. It's $11,000, a little bit over $11,000 a month to live in Hawaii. By those numbers, most of you are poor.
I'm pretty sure you have your facts incorrect here. When people are abusing Snap like it's a free money plan where you're getting tons of money, it creates higher demand and pushes prices up for everyone else overall. And if people stop treating those benefits like an endless wallet, maybe the rest of us would not be dealing with inflated prices at the store.
For all the people that don't understand how EBT is tearing our country apart, let me explain economics for you. This is not accounting. I'm an accountant, bachelor's degree, but this is economics. Supply and demand. When you have an oversupply of something, you have a surplus. When you have an undersupply, you have a shortage. Now, everybody knows when you have a shortage and demand is high, you could charge a premium price because you don't have a lot. Let's say you have 100 people wanting the apple, high demand, but you only have 10 apples. Guess what? You can charge whatever you want to charge for those apples because you got 100 people wanting 10 apples. Reverse that, supply and demand. Let's say you have 10 people, but you have 100 apples. You got to drop your price now. So if you only got 10 people shopping, but you got 100 apples to sell, you've got to drop your price so people want to buy your apples and not the other 90. This is how supply and demand works. People don't understand the economics behind this. What EBT does is it oversaturates the market. Too many buyers. When you have too many buyers and you have a shortage of food, guess what? You can charge a high price because you have 100 people, all with EBT, and you only have 10 things to sell. Now, when you take EBT out of the system and you only have 10 buyers, the supply of food goes up. Guess what happens? You now have a surplus of food, a shortage of buyers. Therefore, the food price has to come down. If it doesn't come down, a lot of buyers won't be able to sell, or a lot of sellers won't be able to sell because buyers are going to go somewhere else to a better price. Buyers will control the market when it's not a lot of buyers. When it's a whole lot of buyers and only a handful of sellers, the sellers control the market because they have all the power and the shortage of products they have. EBT is like putting way too much out there. You got too much money circulating, too many buyers, not enough sellers. Therefore, the prices of everything skyrockets when you put more EBT out there. This is why groceries go up. Inflation. The moment you take away the dollars, the EBT dollars, guess what happens? They have a surplus of all of this food out there. All of these people trying to sell food, but you only got people with actual cash willing to buy now. You don't have a lot of buyers. So you want to entice a buyer to come buy what you got by doing what? Lowering your price. It's economics.
People really just don't understand this. When the government is covering such a huge portion of what gets bought at grocery stores, why would anyone expect prices to end up going down? And it's funny how the people misusing EBT are always the loudest when it comes to inflation while ignoring the fact that their own actions of abusing the system ended up creating the very problem that they're complaining about. It's like a full circle.
Oh, you guys thought you lost your mind over my last video about my rent increase. Well, I lied. I lied about my rent increase. Turns out I'm not the best at maths, never was at school. So it's not $125 increase a week as I initially thought. I thought when they sent us the increase, it was monthly. Turns out it's fortnightly. Yeah, so the increase is actually $250 a week, which is now $1,000 a month increase. Yeah, look at that bike. That's how I feel right now. No, I don't live in a condo, as people are asking. No, I don't have waterfront views of Bondi. I live in a very Darrow Place part of Waterloo in a 1.5 bedroom place that I share with 2 other people. That's what it's come to. Yep. So go ahead, internet, blow up about this. Also, this is not trying to have a battle about who's got the worst situation. I know people also have mortgages, and I love how we all just like to attack each other about this stuff and not maybe try to change the system or use that energy towards, doing things for the better and not tearing each other down or trying to one-up each other about who's got it worse. It's not about that. It's about how fucked the system is.
It definitely sounds like you didn't account for rising inflation when managing your finances, which is something that is important to keep in mind. If you live near major areas, it's only a matter of time before the higher costs end up catching up with you. And at this point, it's the best solution for you to maybe just move to a cheaper place. That is something you can do.
Hello? Hey, It's Alex. How's it going?
Well, it's been a bit hectic lately. What's on your mind?
Yeah, so I've got to talk to you about the rent situation. It's been a few months now, and I haven't received any payments. So what's up?
Yeah, I mean, look, I know I'm behind. Some unexpected expenses came up, and my side hustle really hasn't been making much lately.
I mean, I get it. Life throws curveballs, but you know, this is a business too. Do you have a plan to catch up?
I can get you the money. I just need like half a year.
Listen, I wish I could be more flexible, but we're at a point where I have to take more serious action. Eviction is on the table.
What? Are you serious? Come on, there has to be another way.
I'm sorry, but I have to protect my investment.
This isn't fair. I've been here for like 3 years, and now you're telling me to get out?
I'll give you some time to find a new place, but it's in everyone's best interest that we part ways.
I can't believe this is happening.
Dude.
That is harsh, but it is the truth. These homes are investments for the landlord, and again, it's just all a big circle of business. They expect to make money from them. You know, it makes no sense to let someone stay for free out of courtesy. Maybe for family, I guess, but still, the world runs on money, unfortunately, but the sooner people understand that, the better.
Why have you changed the locks?
He's not paid your rent for the last 6 months.
But I spoke to you about that ages ago. I told you I'd get it to you.
Yeah, and you haven't.
I've just not
so
had a chance.
I'm afraid.
I've got a month on me now. Can I give you a month?
No.
Then I can. But I need to get inside and
Written
get my
to you
stuff.
numerous times, so I've had to go through the courts and change the locks.
Right now, I need to get into the house because I need to get my stuff.
Some new stuff's there.
You can't do this though, can you? What are you going to do?
We'll
Take me out with the kids?
We'll organise a point next week where you can come and collect the rest of your stuff.
But I've got to get in and get the kids medication.
No, everything that I've seen that I think will be useful is in that bag.
Evictions in the U.S. are rising, with over 2.5 million last year.
I've been through a really tough time yet. I've got a month. I can give you a month.
No.
Please just let me in.
You owe me
But can I
6
just get in and get the kids
You owe me
medication?
6 months.
Can I at least just check in the cupboard and make sure I've got
You're not allowed in.
everything?
You're no longer a tenant.
Please,
You're
give
no
me
longer a
month.
tenant.
And where am I supposed to go?
It's not my problem.
While laws differ by state, landlords often have the right to change locks after missed rent.
Can you please just
It's
have a
not
heart?
my. If you've got a month's rent on you, then buy a hotel for the night. It's not my problem now. I'm gonna take the rest of it through the courts.
But I can't do this.
We'll
I can't
organise
put
something
my
next
kids in a
week.
hotel.
I don't care, to be quite honest.
got
You owe me
children.
6 months' rent.
You
Do
got
you think that was
children.
hard for me?
Have you
Do you
got-
think that's hard for
I
me?
appreciate
I've had to
that.
beg for and stuff from every I know, right? So, you can use that money, you can go and buy an hotel, and on Monday, you can collect the rest of your alright?
Please don't
And
do
see me
that.
in court.
Please.
He gave you 6 months to pay your rent, which is way more than generous. It's a lot more than some people would get ever. So it's really not his problem that you have no understanding of the financial management system of your own life and how the real world ends up working. I mean, you can't expect people to just let you stay for free just out of the kindness of their hearts.
I was on WIC for a while, right? Yeah. And I needed it at the time because I had very little resource to take care of myself and my son. And those people are being so cheated right now. So much of the system is being wasted on people who could be working but choose not to. People who keep having children because every time they have another kid, they get more payments. Yeah. People who are fully capable of going out and making something of themselves but choose not to because it's easier to do the bare minimum. And they understand that if I work X amount of hours, I will lose my benefits. If I make X amount of money, I will lose my benefits. So I have to do the absolute bare minimum to keep on this system. And these people are draining the resources away from people who genuinely need the help, which I think that we can all support. But it should not be a lifestyle, and people treat it like a lifestyle.
Exactly. The whole system just really is flawed. The best solution would be to, I feel like, abolish SNAP entirely, rebuild the system from ground up that discourages fraud or has some sort of vetting system. I've mentioned it before. Again, there's really no system that's going to be foolproof and perfect, but I feel like that might be a decent way to do it. But I don't know. People who are genuinely in need of help, that have diseases, disabilities, age, all of that, they need it.
This is my hard-earned tax money. This guy goes in, buys all this fucking crap to come out into the parking lot to dump it out so he can return the fucking pop cans. Like, wow. Wow. Unbelievable. Disgusting.
Why are you videoing us? You do not have our permission to video
What is wrong with you? You're like wasting money.
It's my money. So
No, it's not. It's my money.
I pay into it too.
You freaking spend EBT, go in there, and you waste your money. You didn't even waste money. You freaking bought it on a welfare card, and now you're fucking dumping it in the parking lot?
You do not have our permission.
I don't give a f***.
So we can sit here and call the cops on you.
Go right ahead. Go right ahead. You're f***ing ridiculous. That is sad. That is f***ing sad. You're sad. I'm f***ing dumb. You're f***ing dumb. Why don't you get a f***ing job?
I'm on SSI.
Obviously I'm not f***ing dumb, bitch, when I go to f***ing work every day so you can dump f***ing pop cans down the f***ing parking lot to turn your f***ing money in.
Oh, when you have to make money to spend money to make money. Sorry, some of us don't have good paid jobs.
Then go get f***ing 3 jobs. Pathetic. You guys are f***ing pathetic.
This, I feel, is like the stupidest way of getting cash from food stamps that I've ever seen. I mean, it's wild that people would rather waste food just to get a few dollars instead of going out working and providing for themselves and making so much more money that they can save up, reinvest, etc.
45 million people, 1 out of every 8 Americans, receive food benefits. And when researchers looked at how that money was being spent, they found that the average SNAP household, gets this, buys more soda, candy, desserts, and junk food than the average household that actually pays for their own groceries. I mean, think about that for a second. The people paying for the program are stretching their own budgets, buying store brand and necessities, while the system is allowing people to buy Oreos, chips, energy drinks, and protein tubs on taxpayers' dime. And the justification that's being used here to defend this is absolutely wild. You got politicians saying, well, for every $1 spent on SNAP creates $1.80 in economic activity. Well, okay, but that doesn't mean it creates value. If I hand you $1 and then you hand that dollar to somebody else, we didn't magically make more money. We just moved the dollar around. That's not economic growth. That's just circulation. And if that logic worked, we could simply put the entire U.S. budget into food stamps and boom, instant prosperity, baby. Obviously, that's not how reality works, and they're just lying to all of us. Meanwhile, there's widespread fraud that everyone knows is happening, flipping benefits for cash.
It's insane how people want to buy expensive food for free instead of working like a normal citizen and paying for healthy food themselves, in which, if you did work for yourselves, you could still buy the unhealthy food if you wanted to as well. But they fail to realize that EBT is a major driver of these rising prices. So the same people complaining about inflation are the ones heavily contributing to it.
I'm literally not asking for help. I'm literally not asking for a job. I just want my benefits back. I don't feel the need to pay for food. I have food stamps since 2016. Yes, taxpayers. So, you trying to take it away now? I don't think so.
We know you're not out here looking for a job, because if you're willing to work and pay for yourself, you probably wouldn't be out here trying to cheat the system in the first place. That's definitely not the same kind of mindset. It's very two different worlds. And EBT is not a paycheck. It's not money to stash away. You know, you got to stop treating benefits like their personal savings.
I just want to know if anybody else lives in an apartment that constantly deals with some bullshit. Okay, cool. I pay all of my fees for July, all my move-in fees, my rent, my insurance, all of it. All of it. It's August 1st, right? So everybody knows rent due on the 1st, right? Log on to my lovely little portal app. What do I see? 1,200 and some bullshit. What the f do you mean? What the f do you mean? My rent on my legal document, my signed lease, including pet fees, which I no longer should have because he's an ESA dog, was $972. A lot on its own. Why is it now $230 more? What the f is good? What the f is good? Am I tripping balls right now? I literally just texted my landlord so pissed because I'm like, what the f is this? And best believe, I looked through that entire ledger. What the f? Why is it rent 1,000, like 1,100 something with some change? Oh, no. And best believe, I saw somebody else that lives here post on her private story how she's getting overcharged. What the f? Get me the f out of here. I hate renting.
It really seems like you just stepped into the real world and have no idea how anything works. I mean, you can't just say that you hate renting and expect the problem to just magically disappear because you don't like it. If you want to live in a place you don't own, you have to pay. Unless you're squatting, and then that's a whole other little legal thing. But anyways, welcome to reality.
So I just heard that they supposed to be cutting off millions of people from getting benefits. This is why I told y'all to stay ahead of the game, and I know it's not easy. Nowadays, everything costs so much that it is very hard to sustain and to even catch up. And I know there's people out there saying, well, you should never had all them kids if you couldn't support all of them. Baby, at one point in time, we were all able to take care of all of our kids and our needs. The cost of living was not that high. Baby, back then, I was able to support my family off the paycheck that I was making. $14 an hour was enough money to support a whole entire family. $14 an hour is now the new minimum wage. It ain't even a new minimum wage. That's underneath minimum wage. I am literally heartbroken because there are families out there that's not going to be able to support nor feed their family, nor be able to pay for their medical bills for their kids that's sick. And for them to think that this is okay, I am very, very, very upset and hurt by this. Y'all don't even understand. I'm just thinking about the poor babies that get some type of disease that need their medication, but their parents can't afford to give them their medication. I'm just thinking about that baby that's going to go to bed hungry at night because their parents are not able to buy any food. Y'all don't understand how this is going to affect the world. We're damn near going to be playing the Hunger Games at this point. And these people don't care. They're going to be eating at night. Whatever medication they need, baby, they're going to be able to get it. All I'm saying is y'all need to start having God in y'all life. I'm telling y'all, the days and times that we're living in, nobody cares about the next person. And it's sad to say this, but we all knew that this was coming. That's why I said, hey, y'all got to really get on y'all A game. Y'all really got to start preparing for this new world that we're living in. And y'all got to stop acting so blinded as if it does not exist or that it was never going to happen. I heard people say, hey, well, just allow them. They get these government assistance. Let them. If they don't want to work, let them. I told y'all. I said this already.
They want people to work and pay for the food that they buy instead of just sitting at home and relying on the government the entire time that they're living. Yes, some genuinely deserving people will end up suffering because of this, as anything. But when you look at how many people have been abusing the system, which is a lot, it makes sense that the government is taking these harsher measures now. It sucks, though.
I voted for Trump, and I don't agree with him taking away the EBT benefits from the American people. This is what I just heard a creator say. And so now my thought process is, were you not aware of what you were voting for? Not who, but what? Because clearly you could not have been fully aware. So then that makes me think, when most people are voting, like, you know, with this past election, were we just making votes because Trump was a white man and Kamala is a black woman or a woman? Is that what your vote was based on, rather than what was going to come into play from each of these candidates? This is why we have to read. We have to read to understand why we are making the choices that we are making. This is mind-boggling.
Women, you do not need to turn this into a gender or race issue when it clearly is not. The real reason EBT is being cut back is a huge number of people who have been defrauding the system and deliberately keeping their income low just to keep their benefits, or even just lying about their income in general. Yes, a lot of people will suffer. It really does suck. A lot of people do deserve those benefits. But when you compare how many use the system responsibly versus how many irresponsibly and abuse it, it's very tough.
I just seen that Trump is making a change with food stamps. So I think it's requirements, but I think you have to work a minimum of a certain amount of hours in order to get food stamps. And I love that. I'm not going to lie. It'd be a lot of people living off government assistance, literally never working a job, stacking all their personal bread, and literally living off the government their whole lives. I've been working since I was 16 years old. I go to work every day faithfully, no matter if I was in school, high school, college, and no matter, I always had a job. And the only time I was able to get food stamps was when I was in college. And when I didn't have a job for like 2 months, like when I first like moved back from college. That was the only time I was ever eligible for food stamps. And barely when I was in college, barely made it. So I feel like this is good. The people who are actually working, putting in the work, putting in the effort, that just need a little bit of boost, you know, just a little bit of help with groceries. Like, I feel like this is a perfect opportunity for us. I'm saying us, including me, because yes, need that. Versus people who actually can get up and go through. I'm not even talking about people's grandparents who, you know what I mean, they can't physically get up. They need it. But people who literally can go get up and go work and go make it for themselves, they just choose not to. Like, taking advantage completely. So yes, I'm excited. Hopefully I can give me some. Okay.
Exactly. I mean, it's about time people really get out and actually start to work, start bettering themselves, start advancing their lives, have goals, instead of treating benefits like their own personal income. You know, that's why this change really makes sense in the bigger picture, and it's really only fair to the people who work hard to provide for themselves.
Bitch, they said y'all not finna get no food stamps for November. They said it's over 40-some million people that would be affected by this. And this is all due to the government shutdown. They said this includes SNAP, WIC, all that. Anything that includes with food, that's going down. Now, I don't know if it's true, but they saying that if you got kids under 5, you still would get food stamps. Meanwhile, they saying there's insufficient funds. People finna go crazy. America is finna shut this down. I feel bad because it's finna be so many families without. People already stressed over if they gonna get paid or not, especially dealing with federal shit. Like, people got bills and stuff to pay for, and that shit stop. Like, they don't stop our rent. They don't stop our lights. Like, that shit don't stop, and we literally gotta figure out and fend for it. That I know that's why it's always good to have emergency funds, but everybody's life ain't good enough for them to have that, if that makes sense. I think this law go into effective on November the 1st. I saw a few people saying that it's supposed to start at the end of October, but I'm not absolutely sure about that because I didn't read up on that part. But I think it's November the 1st. Y'all better be really prepared because it's some shit really finna happen.
Yeah, the only people who need to worry about this change are the ones who really are fully capable of working, but choose to rely on the government and keep their income low just to stay on assistance. And this is the government's way of cutting out people who take advantage of the system.
You were supposed to be looking for a job while you had benefits. You were supposed to be looking for a job while you had benefits. You were supposed to be looking for a job while you have benefits.
And you can say it 100 more times to many different people, and people still aren't going to get it, is that EBT was always meant to be a safety net and a temporary short-term assistance program, not a comfortable long-term lifestyle. It's really about time certain people who are freeloading off of the system and really abusing it start filling out job applications, supporting themselves, their family, their future family, their husbands, whatever you need. Just go get those jobs.
Look, this is food. Y'all serve food, right? Then my card should work. Ma'am, it's hot prepared items. We can't process EBT for that. I'm sorry.
Maybe just let me pick.
No, it's the principle. Everybody's eating waffles.
If you want American taxpayers to pay for your waffles instead of using your own money, that really, unfortunately, does sound like a you problem. If things are tight in the first place, you should be trying to cut out these expensive extra things like waffles. You don't need waffles.
I told you, I'm not paying for none of this. Y'all need to be giving us them sodas for free.
Ma'am, we can't give away merchandise. If you want the
I
drinks,
got
they have to be
19
purchased.
kids to feed. You think I got money for all
No.
this? Bring it up for zero, but this...
Why on earth do some people think everything is supposed to be handed to them? There's a lot of people that are like that. And, you know, I'm not sure where that level of entitlement even comes from, because the way some people fight over EBT is pretty unbelievable. For the ones who deserve it, especially if you're watching, best of luck to you. It really sucks what's happening. But anyways, that concludes the video. If you enjoyed, leave a like on the video and subscribe to the channel so you never miss content like this in the future. And I'll catch you in the next one. Stay strong.